Hi there, beautiful creatures, and welcome back. So today I am outside in my wonderful garden. I hope you can see it. I'm sitting in front of my gardenias. It is a wonderful 37 degrees Celsius today in Sydney, and I actually didn't realize how hot it was because I haven't been outside all day, so I thought this would be a good chance to sit down in nature and embrace it. Sitting down on the ground and just chilling out. So this is my belated video for week 2 of Big Magic Book Club. So that was the chapter titled Enchantment, and what it really was about was how Elizabeth Gilbert views ideas. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about her view of ideas, my view of ideas, and the creative process, and how some of the stories she had to say really resonated with me. So first of all, I think I wanted to talk about how she views ideas. And it's basically, she sees them as sentient creatures, as energy that comes into you and flows out to you and is always searching to become manifest through people. So ideas need us as much as we need them. And the whole inspiration, like the whole creative process, is when an idea comes to visit you and you either let it in, say yes, or you say no to it and you let it go on its way. And of course the birds are going to start singing now. Anyway. And she talks about ideas as a kind of, sentient creatures that interact with us and that sort of sit with us on our journey. And we can either choose to devote ourselves to that one idea and make it manifest, or we can sort of say, yeah, I kind of accept that idea, but I'm not really sure if I want to embrace it. I had to change hands, my arms are killing me. So I thought that was really interesting. It's a way that I've never really viewed ideas before, and I'm getting bugs crawling on me now. See, this is the danger, the peril of the outdoors. I've never seen ideas as sentient creatures, and to me that idea is still a little bit weird, and also puts a lot of the inspiration, creativity thing out to a divine source, which is something that I don't really get. She does kind of justify it a little bit, and she also talks about how, I guess, how the divine is sort of responsible for it in some ways, but this is her talking about big magic, you know, what she sees as big magic. And so I kind of have a problem with that, because I do believe that the human brain is an absolutely miraculous thing, and to put ideas outside of our brains and say, oh no, we're not responsible for our ideas, they just come to us, it's something else, it's kind of a bit taking a cop out, in my opinion. I think if you have ideas, they're kind of, you make them. Inspiration maybe comes from a different source, but I still think that your brain is largely responsible for that. So I was kind of interested by that. Oh my god, these bugs! Okay, we'll see if I can get through this video without being eaten alive by creatures of the grass. So that was interesting, and I really liked her story about the tortured artist. I thought that that was really awesome. She goes on to sort of talk about the stereotype of the tortured artist in that chapter, and how we can choose to either live that stereotype, or we can choose to say yes to ideas, embrace them, and, you know, follow that idea on track until its completion, until we manifest it. And that is a more full way and a more accepting way to live our lives. Being a person who's been at art school for 4 years, I do actually know quite a few people who love to paint themselves as tortured artists. And it is a very seductive idea if you're an artist, because, I mean, you think all these famous artists like Van Gogh and stuff like that, they have that tortured artist vibe about them. And well, their lives were sort of steeped in tragedy and nobody understood them and all that kind of stuff, and it's really easy to fall into that trap if you're an artist creating stuff and you're like, no, all my work is crap and blah blah blah. Sometimes you genuinely believe it, sometimes you're just saying it. So it's really nice, I think, for her to write that, and as a reminder to sort of say, hey, if you've made an amazing thing, if you've created this thing, you're allowed to be proud of it. You're allowed to embrace it and accept that, yeah, you did this thing, you did this great idea, you achieved this thing. Be proud of your ideas and move on to the next idea. So I really loved that in that chapter. And this chapter gripped me a lot, much more than the beginning chapter, I have to say. So I've really enjoyed working with it. So I do have a couple of crystals of the video, which I will show you in 1 second. So I recently got a piece, well by recently I mean a couple of weeks ago, got a piece of green aventurine. So I'll show that to you. Beautiful piece of aventurine. This is like an anti-anxiety stone, but it's also a creative stone. So the stone of enchantment for me is a stone of making ideas manifest and making ideas, your creative ideas, come true in the physical plane. So that for me, aventurine kind of called out to me. And also aquamarine. That's this beautiful stone here. This stone got recommended to me when I was looking for stones to put into my artistic studio space. This stone got recommended to me as being a good stone for being able to communicate your creative ideas. And if you know anything about the creative process, as I'm sure we all go through it at some point, you know that actually being able to put down your ideas, write about them, talk about them, you know, the whole process of making art is actually about kind of, I guess, making your ideas come into reality, and this stone really helps with that. This is an incredibly powerful creative stone for communicating those ideas. So yeah, it's all about communication really, I think, in a way. I also brought out my fairy tarot, Doreen Virtue Fairy Tarot, and I was going to pull a couple of cards and talk about creativity, but I'm not really feeling that right now because I'm literally dying in this heat. My body and heat does not get along whatsoever, so I think I'm just gonna have to cut it short here. I realize I'm running late with the video and it's a short video, but I'm really suffering outside. Like, it doesn't look that hot because I'm sitting in the shade, but it's freaking boiling. Just have to take my word for it, guys. So this week I've started reading the 4th chapter, which is Permission, which is really interesting, but I think because, like, I've been really pressed. I finished uni, but that is by no means the end of my, like, obligations. I now have a whole bunch of other stuff that I've taken on because that's just the way of things, and yeah, it's kind of, my life is no less easy now, so I've kind of thought I would have a lot more time to do the Big Magic Book Club than I have, and that's kind of the way of things. So I'm thinking that we'll read Permission, which is this chapter, and the next chapter, which will be chapter 5. Over a 2-week period or a week and a half. Whenever you guys can make your videos or make your comments, that'd be awesome. I would love to see them. I still really appreciate that people are joining in and being a part of the Big Magic Book Club. And yeah, so reading, I think for this system it's reading these 2 chapters, Permission and the next chapter, which I haven't looked at yet, reflecting on it and sharing your ideas again. Yeah, I guess I don't really have much else to say, but thank you all for joining me out here in my wonderful garden with my gardenias. Smell them! They're so smelly. They're so smelly. What am I saying? The heat's making me delirious. Okay, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!